Welcome back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. In the last episode we finished Leper's Smile and we are now in the new camp area. And I'm a bit lost on what we're supposed to do, but I tried going to the usual vendor and he wanted to talk, so I went to the blacksmith instead. Let's go and talk to the vendor first. The quartermaster flashes you his usual grin, but it fades almost immediately. What a march, eh, Commander? I won't forget it, not in a million years. I can't stop shaking whenever I think about the Leper's Smile. We lost too many good men. Spirits are low in the camp. Some soldiers can't shake off the horrors they've seen, others are mourning their friends. What if we held a wake? Lit up the bonfires, poured some wine, raised our cups in memory of the fallen. It would do the troops a world of good. We will commemorate the fallen, give the soldiers some wine, but not enough for them to get smashed. Never, Commander. Everything will be a proper, solemn, and with due respect for the... Everything will be proper, solemn, and with due respect for the fallen. We are mourning the dead, not celebrating a wedding. Tell me about yourself. I realize we haven't talked to this guy much. The quartermaster looks away sheepishly. There isn't much to tell, really. I was born in Canabras in a humble family. I got an education, taught myself to read and write, got drafted into the army, spent 3 years as a shield bearer in the first line. I left after I did my time and joined the Stonemasons Guild. Then moved on to the shipwrights and rose to a crew chief. Sailed to Ioberia twice and returned with goods. Made some money, built a house, but haven't started a family yet. I think I will after we are done with this war. But a few years ago, something started gnawing at me. I got this feeling like I needed to go home, that there was a storm headed for my native city. And when there's trouble in Mendev, there is only one thing to do. You go to the recruiter and you sign up for the army. And so I did. At first, they wanted to make me an infantry sergeant, but then they decided I'd be a better fit in the supply department. I can take care of army property, and I am pretty handy around a warehouse, not to mention I know how to manage a band of helpers. And so, that's how I became a quartermaster. Wilsa gives you a shy smile and shrugs, as if this were a wholly unremarkable story, typical of any crusader. What are your duties in the camp? A little bit of everything. What's an officer to a soldier? A strict father. So what does this make a quartermaster like myself? Something like their mum, that's what. I make sure the lads have everything they need to defeat the enemy and come back from battle in one piece. Wilsa starts ticking off his fingers. That means food, firewood, medicine, tents, mended clothes, fixed weapons. The horses have got to be fed and watered, the camp's got to be fortified by the evening and broken up by the morning. I make sure the wages are paid on time and the wagon wheels don't squeak. And then there are reports. Gods, until you asked, I never realized how many duties I actually had. Sounds unpleasant. What do the soldiers think of their new commander? They mostly tell tales about your unusual power, but they don't shy away from talking about you as a person too. Soldiers are always like that. If Iomade herself descended from heaven, you bet they'd jabber on about how she grips her sword and how good she looks in her armor. Word is that you possess some special magic and know spells that no one's ever seen in Mendev before. People say you can do all sorts of stunts, turn into a dragon, throw lightning bolts, fly across the sky, and that you specialize in this one spell that lets you carouse and make love all night long without ever flagging. I don't know where they got that last one from. You'd think they weren't righteous warriors of light, but common soldiers, huh? Wilsa says with a genial smile. How are things in the camp? Iomade be praised, everything's fine. We are well supplied, nobody's going hungry, and the sick... Well, you can't run a military campaign without somebody getting sick. But they aren't taking up any more beds than usual. Except... The quartermaster looks at the mound of equipment bearing the signs of recent tinkering. We're having a little problem with the soldiers' gear. The army has a standard that dictates who gets what. except this standard is only good for fighting around Canabras. Needless to say, the conditions inside the Worldwound are completely different. The scouts have been complaining. The local vegetation is like razor blades, they say, and it's slashing the soles of their boots to ribbons. Their cloaks might protect them from the cold, but they are useless against acid snow or caustic mist. The scouts are missing plenty of vital gear. A coil of rope is a simple thing, but there's not even enough to go around, can you imagine? How are they supposed to scale mountains with no rope? So, I've been thinking, what if we issue them different equipment? The scouts at least? I'm afraid boots and ropes alone won't be enough. Put the scouts on horses and provide everything they need. Now that you mention it, the horses are faster and can carry plenty. I'll see to it, Commander. I will immediately write to Canabras and ask for experienced mounted scouts. We're getting ourselves a cavalry. Show me what you have. So we have a lot of money. 70,000. I did sell most of the stuff that we had. I seem to recall that there are some items that this guy has that we might be interested in buying. It's just that I've sold a lot of stuff to him. Oh dear. Not the Ring of Protection, nor these. Geesh, that is expensive. I don't know why they've kept these in the game. These were vital in Pathfinder Kingmaker, but they're no longer needed. Racking point. 75,000? Oh, I guess it's +3 corrosive, so 2d6 corrosive damage to all enemies in 30 feet area? That is rather nice. Still a bit expensive though. Just looking for... are these other stuff that we have sold to him? I thought he was supposed to have a ring. Or amulet or something. But I'm not sure if it's him that has it. But it should give access to all of the... When the wearer of this amulet declares a knight's challenge. Okay. I'm guessing that is for the mounted style class. I was pretty certain there was a ring.
I'm gone.
Do you have it? No.
Something here.
Yeah. Strange perfume. A small bottle with a unique scent. It smells of something sweet with occasional harsh notes, like the air before the storm. Lan perception succeeded. Okay. I was fairly sure there was some ring we could buy here. That perfume might have something to do with who is the traitor amongst us. Okay.
Let's head out.
seem to recall that I read in a guide that you could buy a ring, but it might be in Dresden.
Let us be careful.
Hello. So, what do you reckon about everything that's come crashing down on us? All the responsibility, command, this new power?
It's a little overwhelming, to be honest.
Don't be sad. Look at me. I'm sitting here worrying over my troubles, but you have it much worse than all of us put together. I'm still frightened by what happened in the Grey Garrison. Were we really chosen? By Iomade herself? You know, back when I was a snot-nosed kid who just started down the path to becoming a paladin, I imagined once or twice that I was going to do something heroic. The lights would shine down on me, the trumpets would sing, I'd hear the voice of the goddess, or at least her herald, you know? I'd be informed that I had been chosen for a great cause. But that's the point where my imagination always failed me.
If this weren't a fantasy world, I would probably say that she was slightly insane here.
Somehow, it really happened. Without all the trumpets or the herald or even anyone explaining what I had to do. Though it's clear as day, my place is here, in this demon-ridden wound. Quite a lovely war going on, in fact. Endless, I hear. I'm gonna need some time to wrap my head around this. Spare me an hour and I'll crawl into some dark corner and whine about my hard lot. What can I tell you? I cry easily.
The fate of the League of the Cart affected you greatly. So you could say, I did what I thought was right. I tried to help a good person with their troubles, and what came of it? I'm sorry, but I won't find peace until I track down Curl and Janna. What were they thinking? Is there any way to get through to them, or should I just admit I was terribly wrong? There's another thing that's worrying me. The way people react to your power and mine. They think that if we have been chosen by Iomade, they need to pray at our feet. I'm not comfortable with the younger warriors hanging on my every word. Sela smiles sourly. I feel alone. Nobody else is going to sit with me and celebrate saving a beer cart. And I'd like to regain, if not the friendship, at least the trust of the other knights. Especially those I respect and consider my friends, like Ilan. Off we go then. Do we have any other conversations like that here? Actor, What do you think of what happened in the Grey Garrison? Did you feel a change in yourself? It's hard not to notice when the demons start running away from you like a flock of frightened bats. Powers granted by Iomade to defeat demons. Lan raises his hand above his head and pensively scratches behind his single horn. Since I was a kid, I've taken whatever I've been given and used it as best I can. Anything goes when you're trying to survive. It doesn't matter where your blessings come from. We can think about that when we're old, if we live that long. But you know, this time even I'm not so sure. A divine power that just appears out of nowhere? Sooner or later we'll have to pay for it. I would like to know what the price will be. So they probably have some... What do you think of the powers you received from me? Camellia shrugs nonchalantly. People of noble descent grow accustomed to ample opportunity. The powers I received from you are useful, but I see no point in treating them with excessive piety. Surprised? Waldriff, what do you think of my new powers? Waldriff pauses to think, rubbing his chin. You mean what you did back there? I have a few ideas. We could send you to a Pitax underground arena to fight, give you a scary name like Swift Sting or something like that. Give you a great cover story, enemies burn down your house, you're avenging your dead family. The public eats that stuff up. We'll wear a shiny, eye-catching outfit, or a black one if you like black better. We'll split the prize money 60-40. 60 for me, of course. You know, arranging fights isn't easy. Those people are tough. I'll be taking more risk than you. And after we get set up in Pitax, we'll tour different cities, make some real money. What? You don't like the sound of it? Do you have any other suggestions? Waldriff grins, his yellow eyes lighting up. I got one more. Have you heard of Razmiran? It's some land in the River Kingdoms ruled by a King Razmir. A friend of mine used to live in Razmiran. He got out there as fast as he could. Long story short, this King Razmir of theirs is a god. He keeps his people under his heel. They are all terrified of what he might do. He sits on his throne wearing some white mask, giving power to anyone. Come and take power from me, he says, so long as you believe in me. Waldriff quickly checks that no one is eavesdropping. But that friend of mine, the one who fled, has a half-sister on his old man's side who is a cook in the castle, and a washerwoman who the cook plays cards with in the evenings told her a juicy rumour. Word is, Razmir isn't a real god at all, and he's got no powers. So here's my point. You do have powers, pretty scary ones too. We'll find some shabby little kingdom, I'll start some rumours, you'll show off a few tricks to wow the locals, and that's it. We'll make you a deity. But first, I want you to put it in writing that I'll be your chief advisor. I'm not doing anything just on the nod. I've been there. People promise you mountains of gold, and then, when it comes to it, they're all get lost, or I'll set the dogs on you. So, do you like the idea? You should be punished for your heretical thoughts. Call myself a god and deceive people? That's disgusting. Cleaning privies is disgusting. Deceiving an entire kingdom is an art. You're not appreciating what it is I'm offering you, Chief. I don't make offers like that to just anyone, you know. Interesting. I shall return shortly. There we go. Okay, now... how about Darren? You probably have some witty repertoire. I'd love to visit Heaven's Edge and see the Arrendale estate someday. Oh, I was just about to mention it myself. I've been thinking, now that I'm in the middle of this whole Crusade nonsense, I simply must devise new ways to have fun. With all the recent commotion, my birthday completely slipped my mind. What if we were to celebrate it at Heaven's Edge? It is not far from here, and you'll get to enjoy a banquet in a bona fide haunted house. Darren seems to have trouble getting the words out, which clearly indicates how rarely he has to ask for anything. Since you're my superior and I'm your advisor, I am obliged to ask your permission to leave for the festivities. And I want to invite you too. I'm sure the commander can free up an afternoon while the soldiers are on leave. Well, that I like suggestion 3 here. Let us continue this discussion after the battle for Dresden. If you want to celebrate your triumph, we have to make it happen first. Should I ask Pharasma to clear some space in her boneyard in preparation then? I jest, of course. Fine, I'll wait. And then we have Ember. That's a lot of things. How are you handling your new abilities? Abilities? The girl tilts her head to her shoulder. What are you talking about? Oh, the tricks you learned when a big grey house blew up. They're funny. Thanks for teaching them to me. Beach. The Queen gave me the title of Knight Commander and put me in charge of an army. What do you think about that? The elf focuses her wondering gaze on your eyes, smiles and shakes her head. Don't believe titles. All of us in the world are children of the street, barefoot, hungry, scared. a step away from death. Some imagine they are strong and rich like gods, but don't forget who you really are behind the title. It is actually a good advice. Do the soldiers still rely on you for help? Even more than before. They come to me, ask me questions, wanting advice. I don't think I ever say anything clever, but sometimes it helps them. That's what matters, right? Your words helped me back then too. I am still scared that I'm going to say something wrong, but if you believe in me, that means I'm doing the right thing, right? And I believe in our fighters, so they have to win. Then Nenio? The Queen have anything to say? No. Nenio is down that way.
I'm gone.
Ah boy, there you are. Very good, just in time. You will be delighted to know that I need you for an experiment. So, the Grey Garrison stands roofless. Demons are running from the hills with their tails between their legs. Mendev's queen, what's her name? It's on the tip of my... Ah yes, Galfrey, is scurrying to and fro, and all this is somehow connected to you, my loyal follower. Thus far, there is no scientific evidence of your exceptionality if one discounts blind faith in divine intervention, which I do. We, people of science, refuse to believe in the explicable without any proof. We are the ones who explain the inexplicable. Nenio punctuates her statement with an energetic sweep of her arm. And therefore, open your mouth and say, "Ah," for me. Why? Isn't it obvious? I'm going to study you. Come along, don't stand in the way of science. What does my mouth have to do with my new abilities? Perhaps there is no connection, or perhaps there is a direct connection. We'll never know unless we try to find out. Open your mouth. Ah. Nenio peers into your mouth with a practiced eye. Alright, your throat's fine, tongue looks perfectly normal, your breath... She sniffs. The smell is in line with the regular functioning of the digestive system. Now for your teeth. She sticks one hand into your mouth and probes each of your teeth in turn with the skill of a seasoned dentist. No detectable alterations. By the way, did you know that many individuals, while being wholly civilized representatives of their races, still have an amazingly powerful bite? As if suddenly recalling something, Nenio promptly pulls her hand out of your mouth. Stay silent. Moving on. Alright, what do we have next? Ears. Let's check your hearing. Testing! Nenio yells right in your ear and nods in satisfaction as she observes your reaction. Your hearing is fine, was fine, but don't worry, it is scientifically proven that it should return to normal soon. Next. Nenio circles you. Eyes are clear, posture is satisfactory, limb length is standard, no lice. That's good at least. She stops, rubs her chin in contemplation, and in a slightly dejected tone says, "Boy, you are the picture of health. It is a pity. I was expecting to find some anomaly. Well, now let's assess your mental state. Imagine a hypothetical situation. You are a tree. 2 squirrels have found their way into your hollow and are now copulating there. What do you do?" I'll do precisely nothing because I'm a tree. An unconscious act of withdrawal along with a lack of trust in your own abilities, or perhaps just a healthy dose of pragmatism? On to the next question. Another hypothetical situation. You are a tomato. You have just been picked from the vegetable patch and put into a crate. You know that today the cook will use half of the tomatoes from your crate to make soup. What do you do? There is nothing I can do. I am a tomato, remember? An unconscious act of withdrawal. Inability or an unwillingness to see something bigger behind something small. Alright, I understand. On the surface, it appears you don't really believe in your ability to change things, but in fact you are a strong pragmatist who knows perfectly well what you can and can't do. Your reasoning is that of a mortal, one who is capable of achieving a great deal, though he would deny even that. On that note, I deem this experiment complete. Thank you for your participation. Nenio looks at you pensively and then gestures at you with a wide sweep of her arm. And yet you remain a puzzle to me. I love puzzles. One of these days I will solve you completely. Unless I forget. Now I have time to answer your questions. Come on, ask away. I'd like to clarify a few things about your new task. Your craving for knowledge will be immediately satisfied. Ask away. Have we asked for this? I believe we have. No, this is new. You are a fellow follower of Nethys, right? Then tell me, when is the cube, is the red, is the sphere? Is this one of the puzzles Nethys' followers entertain themselves with instead of engaging in serious scientific work? I have no time to waste on these mystic charades or on any other religious nonsense. She lowers her head. The cube is the red is the sphere. That makes no sense, unless this cube is made of strawberry gelatin with its corners bitten off. You have a circle tattooed on your shoulder. What does it mean? Nenio casts a sidelong glance at her shoulder. Oh, that. I do not remember the circumstances of its creation, but I like it. I prefer to think of it as a zero, null, nothing. A center point, an origin of coordinates. It reminds me of how much of the unknown the world there is to explore. Don't you remember how you got this tattoo? That information is irrelevant. I have decided to forget it. How can you just decide to forget important pieces of information? This is just one of my many talents. The secret is to stop thinking about the thing you want to forget. And the main thing is not to remember anything you don't need, to filter it. To get right to the essence. I'll teach you someday, unless I forget. What is this encyclopedia you're working on? The Encyclopedia Goloronica will be published in 100 volumes, 1,000 pages each, plus the author's addenda, appendices added by future co-authors, and critical commentaries. Addenda indexation is still in question. I just like the number 100. I'm not sure that I'll be able to keep within the established word limit. It will be a magisterial piece of scholarship that will become part of the mandatory curriculum of every educational institution worth mentioning. In it, I intend to describe every object, item, event, fact, and personality that is present on or at least somehow related to Golarion. My calculations show that I have completed no more than 1% of this monumental book. Geesh. Do you remember your parents, your past, or is all that irrelevant too? All of it is irrelevant on the grand scale of the world history. I have no reason to remember such things. Forgive me for saying this, but you are out of your mind. Nenio stays silent and gives you a puzzled look. What? What were we talking about? I'll stop torturing you with questions for now. Yeah? What were we talking about? Yeah, she's something. I think we've talked to the ones out here. The one I haven't talked to is Social, who might have something to share after his experiences. I don't know. No. Right, let's go to the commander's tent and have a rest then. I don't know why he does that. And by he, I mean Darren. Anivia, do you have something to say now? No. The commander's chest, I would like to put these notes in there. Those recipes, I probably should Yeah, I think I want to put those in there as well, because I need those later. We have a lot to give to the storyteller whenever we find him. Put that in there as well. That one we can actually equip on Camellia, I think. Yeah, the one she's using right now is rather crappy compared to that one. And we'll also put the light hammer in there. And that short sword. And then we'll take a quick nap. Everybody keeps telling me to change, but I like the way I live. I ain't planning to change. Hear that, cleric? You wouldn't give up your shilling just cause somebody told you to, would you? Well, the same goes for me. But you are forever complaining about your life. How are people to know that you are truly happy with your lot? "21 hours. I think we can move the army again now. Let's see here. Let's meet them up there. That was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to pay for more recruits. Where do I do that again? There was someone I could pay money to. But who? Or has that option disappeared?
Let's head out.
He doesn't. Maybe that option has disappeared. That, I believe, is to gain a companion that you want to customize from level 1. Then again, you can retrain them, the default ones. Now, I don't know who I paid to get troops. I'll look it up between episodes. Okay, so the army, we want it to go to that, so we can get to the Chili Creek. Oh, that was effective. Can I? Don't need the speed currently, so this thing is probably going to pack a punch. No, not really. At least that thing has a lot of hit points. This is so Heroes of Might and Magic. Did I merge the armies? I don't think I did. Perfect. After pacifying the elementals, the soldiers found the remains of a cultist sorcerer in the middle of a broken summoning circle. Despite his apparently outstanding magical power, he was unable to control the raging spirits he had brought into existence. His stiff fingers were still clenching the horrendous flail he used as a weapon. We found the Tyranny of Mind, which is a rather nice heavy flail. Not that we have anyone who use heavy flails. You also can't have it on a good character because they become permanently confused, even after they unequip it, and have to be used remove curse upon. I don't think we really need to go in there with the army. Now let's merge these two armies this time. I should name this something else because this is just going to confuse me. Holy Army, the God Emperor. And then I think we can just go back across the river. And that is about how far we can move today. What is this new army we got down here? Mounted scouts. Okay, so that's not bad. If we put these people together. I'm not going to go to Canabras. There we go. Is the skeleton again? Yeah. Do you sell now? Personal protection. Magical mystical spell thingies, please. I think we'll buy a couple of scrolls of restoration. Not 10. 2 will suffice. And also 5 of those. Continue on our travels. Nah. We can rest here.
You know, I wonder, are you always such a nightmare, or are you making an exception just for us Rab? You probably act differently around highborn folk.
You're quite mistaken, my scaled friend. I don't treat people like dirt because they are of a lower station than I am. I simply treat people like dirt. All of them.
Yeah. Didn't get much issues here at all. Which is good. Now, while I remember, let's learn to make moss pottage and curse pilaf. Sounds delicious. And I think we will end the episode just around here. It wasn't the most content-rich episode, but it was lots of lore and stuff. The demon army did help in terms of morale, so I think we might be getting that back. So next episode we'll go to Chili Creek, and then we'll also try to get rid of these, which I suspect the army has regained its movement points. Yes, so we can seek out these things. Dresden is up there. So now, if you do have any questions or comments, then please do feel free to leave those in the comment section. And thank you so much for joining me. I will be seeing you all in the next episode.